welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. Keep the arms closer to the ears. Turn the hips and waist to peek at the heel of the opposite foot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight to the left foot. Good Tai Chi posture. Kick your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees using your whole body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up your span, parallel feet. Choose the right side, cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cross and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cross and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good golden cockerel, good Tai Chi posture. Dropping your shoulders, middle finger to the side seam, tucking your butt, which automatically sinks your chest, chin slightly down, head erect, tongue on your palate. What else? Good thoughts going on. Here we go. Shift weight to the left, up, push down, pull up. Other side. One more set. Kicking out. 50-50, shift weight to the left. Tuck the elbows in, right hand, right foot out. Follow. Left hand, left foot. Sure, it's a counterbalance hand. Last set. Holding your ball. Root down, store that energy. L stance, move the energy, turn the hips and waist out to the fingertips, bow stance. Sit back and sit down, twist step, root down, center with the ball T, out into the side L, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, twist step. Root down, store the energy, center with the ball. L stance, move the energy, turn the hips and waist, out to the tips of your finger, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, twist step, listen carefully, out into the side, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down. Twist step, root down, out into the side, part the wild horse's mane. Twist step, sit back, twist step, T stance, ward off. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Sit down, sit back, look back, turn at the hips and waist contact. Push the energy through. Make sure you have good Tai Chi posture right now. Sit back, sit down, twist step, T stance, center, out. Move the energy, turn the hips and waist, ward off. Turn the hips and waist, reposition, bring down the bird's tail. Gracefully, contact push from the center, roll back, sit down. Up and out. Twist, step. Okay, imagine that you have an opponent there. What are you going to do? Step out and push him out with your forearm. Use your core. Turn the hips and waist. Drag him down. Pull him back. Contact. Push him out. Roll back. Sit down. So you can see that we can be graceful and yet use our intention and our core to ward him off. Turn your hips and waist and pull him down by using your core to strengthen your movements. Very different from just thinking about a hand motion. One more. Sit back, sit, twist step, T-stance, step out. Force of the forearm and the core pushes him away. Turn the hips and waist. Use your core to bring down that bird's tail as if it were your opponent. Push him out. You can still be graceful and use your core. Getting into a single whip, sit back, twist, T-hook, out L, single whip. Sit back, sit down, twist step, hold your ball, out and to the side, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, we're going to get into a ball. Actually, we're going to brush our knee. How? All together. Ear, hand, and heel, turn the hips and waist. Hands go for the ride. Sit back, sit down. Twist step, set it up correctly, all together. Move the energy, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, twist step, set it up, glance at the back, out and to the side, turn the hips and waist, brush knee. Okay, make it nice. Use your energy in the most optimal way. Turn the hips and waist. Sit back, sit down, twist, T, L, bow. Sit back, sit down, twist, set it up, L, bow stance. Okay, let's get into a ward off and practice our closing form. T stance. Out and to the side, ward off. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact, turn, push from the center, out, separate, roll back, sit down, spiral up and out. Sit back, sit down, twist, open pivot, in pivot. Embrace the tiger first with the right hand inside the cross and your wrists are touching each other. Bear down on the left to hold the energy to move the right in. Rotate so that your wrists are in contact. Bring the tiger to your chest and both palms are now facing you because you've rotated on your wrist. Bring the tiger slightly in, then push him out using the force of your core and the left wrist. Now, at this point, how do you close? 3 things happen. Drop the shoulders, tuck the elbow, flex the knee, make yourself small. Okay, nothing is, everything is bringing you down because it's gravity. And if you're weighted heavily on your feet, it's easy for gravity to just bring you down. And at that point, you should be feeling a heaviness in both feet. So let's go through Tai Chi walk first, okay? So Tai Chi walk is important because the bottom portion of our body has to match our top. The top is not any good if there's nothing moving us through the bottom. So Yang 16 and 24 and 88, unlike the 10, which the 10 grooms you for the other 3 forms because we know T stance, L stance, and bow stance, and we know our sit back and sit down. All of that is wrapped up into Tai Chi walk, so it's nothing wasted. It's probably more advantageous, okay? But we have to kind of draw the similarities and apply the same types of techniques, okay? So let's really kind of clean it up. Hands at our waist. When our hands are at our waist, our shoulders are still dropped. Drop the shoulders, and then just put your hands at your waist. They should never be raised. Once you set up your Tai Chi posture, the posture remains for the entire set, no matter what the movement is. Okay, remember that, okay? Pivot out with your right heel, walk in that right zigzag direction. Firm down on the right to create a left insubstantial on a line or parallel to the line, a L stance. There's no weight or hardly any on that advancing left foot. The weight and the energy remains in this right foot where it is flexed and the leg has all that energy stored. We're going to dispense it. How? From the flat of the foot all the way through your system. Then we're going to turn the hips and waist and we're going to flatten down in a bow stance. Now we've created a 60 in the front and a 40 in the back. But we want to be safe. We need to create a insubstantial. This was a substantial, so the alternating foot now becomes the insubstantial. Here we go. Sit back and sit down. Twist out to the left zigzag. Walk in that direction with both hips. Firm down, heel out. Energy stored on the left now goes all the way through the system. Then you can turn your hips and waist and flatten down, bow stance. So bow stance is the same thing. Bow in the front, arrow in the back. The foot in the front is parallel to the line or on a line. Same thing that we learned in 10 form. Sit back and sit down. Twist out to the right. Walk in that direction, firm down, heel out. Move the energy from the right or planted foot all the way across, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that left zigzag, heel out, move the energy, turn the hips and waist down. Sit back, sit down, all the way back down, sit down, twist out to the right, zigzag there, L, move the energy all the way through your system and then down, bow stance. So that is the pattern, but each time you do it, you have to do it very well and drain that energy and exaggerate your movements. What you think are defined and clear need to be even more well defined. Twist step, L, move the energy, T. Sit back, sit down, twist out, walk in that left zigzag, heel, move the energy. Don't forget to move the energy. That front foot cannot just plop down. The energy has to move. Otherwise, why store the energy like now? You stored it so that you can drain it and put it back on the front. Okay, one last one. Sit back, sit down, twist out, walk in that zigzag, heel, move the energy, then turn the hips and waist, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, and hold your stance. Hold your stance while I turn around. Okay, now wait, stay there. Ask yourself, is my butt tucked in? Is my head erect? Are my shoulders down? Is my chest still sunken? You should have Tai Chi posture, okay? Okay, walk back to your position. So what I want to impress upon you is that if you take the time, and you should, and sit back and sit down to create a weightless foot that's safe for you to then move, in this position, the energy cannot just jump between the 2 feet and come down this way. That's not Tai Chi. There's so much of a disconnection right there. If you take the time to sit back and sit down, store the energy, because Tai Chi says only the weightless foot can advance. You cannot just then store the energy and expect the energy to just plop here, okay? And if you extrapolate and talk about daily activities or routine, this is going to be advantageous how you transfer your energy, okay? So the energy, you should feel the heaviness weighted in your sole of the foot should somehow grow, make it generate it and make it move all the way through, all the way to your shoulders and your neck and your head. And at some point you will feel the time to release that energy and turn the hips and waist and come down. So that's a lot of words. Sit back, sit down, twist, sit back, sit down, and then you're going to come up, twist, step. I have to move this way. I have to move all the way through, turn my hips and waist, and then flatten down this way. Take that time to religiously detail it out, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. That's the bottom line. Why should you take the opportunity and the time to store the energy when all of a sudden you just want to plop it down? You don't want to do that. You want to keep it as long as you can to build that strength to make Tai Chi, I want to say logical, or it makes more sense where you can then move that front foot, store the energy, keep the energy there, put it in L stance, move the energy all the way through, not just through here and then there, all the way through. Turn the hips and waist will help you to then flatten down, okay? And the knees not beyond the toes. It's not easy, okay? But the better you can get at Tai Chi walk, the more powerful your upper body becomes, and then as a whole, the whole body is working more efficiently, more in the optimal manner. So that's what we're striving for, okay? So know that it's out there, know that that's your goal. Do not take shortcuts. And if you are diligent in what you know and try to do now, will build with you, because you will gain more strength and you will have better understanding. Okay, so now.
Remember, the Dantian is your center of gravity. So whether you're going forward or back or twisting, the center of gravity is what you got to focus on. You don't move this or you move it improperly, the rest of your body will go either in the correct or incorrect direction. So we're so fascinated with upper body. You have to remember, this part's got to be very flexible. It directs what the rest of your body's going to do. You go this way, everybody's going to go this way. You go this way, everybody's going to go that way. And then the rest follows, okay?
So you may get the conclusion or draw the conclusion that Tai Chi is about energy. How you direct your energy, your chi within your system. That's the stuff that we want to direct correctly and move from something being stagnated through usually the joints, okay? All right, so then if we say we've built a good platform and we understand how to do Tai Chi walk and how it helps us and is powerful in putting Tai Chi together, then we're gonna create our upper body, okay? And I want to stay away from hands, because usually when you think of hands, it's the wrist, it's the arm, it's maybe a little bit of the upper arm. But when we talk about the upper body, it's the hips and waist all going together, shoulders, neck, head, vision, everything, okay? So this is the powerhouse, okay? Power horse of your body. We want to make sure we activate it and know how to activate it in the right way, okay? And remember our turn your shoulder thing went up and we turned in, we went out and we turned out, up and turned out. So this is the stuff also. It's not just up or down, okay? But it's the turning, and ever so often ever so strongly, we turn on our spine. It's not a full rotation, but it could be a slight revolving, okay? So that's important too, because that's part of our system. We want to enact, we want to implement everything that we have to make it work well, okay? We don't want anything left behind. All right, so with that in mind, let's go through the 16 coming forward, and there are going to be times when you can't see me, and I'm going to work on some of those movements. But what our task is now is, of course, we want to know what comes after what, our sequencing. But more so, I want to try to draw the connection between Tai Chi walk, the foundations, and what we're doing with the upper body in the form 16, okay, form 16. So we start with the clock wall, which lots of you already know, which is good, okay? Dropping the shoulders, good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form, shift weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 lets you off the ground, open, 50-50, rotate. Deep breath in as we elevate and draw up the water at shoulder level, reverse the posture, push down, make yourself small, flex your knees. T-stance, holding your ball, out and to the side, from the bottom of your foot, through your system, all the way up, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back and sit down. There's that Tai Chi walk being started already. Twist out, walk in that zigzag, hold your ball for better balance, out on an L, move the energy all the way to the top, turn the hips and waist, part 2. Next movement. Half step forward, hold your ball, weight is on the front. As you spin the ball to the right, your weight then goes back to the back foot. To allow the front foot to come up and rock, off the ground, point it out, set it up correctly. White crane spreads its wings. So I want to remind you now too, that you are still in Tai Chi posture, even with this formation. We're going to drop the front foot, and we're going to tuck the elbow in and draw that hand closer to the midpoint. We're going to bisect all the way through to Danten, swirl back and look back, and set it up correctly. 3 things happen. What? Ear, hand, and heel. Turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back and sit down. Walk in that right zigzag. Set it up correctly. Heel out. Oh, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist, brush knee. 2 and final. So you saw me put my heel and I didn't connect because 3 things should happen. But going slowly, I have to sometimes choose, but I should know better, okay? So after 2 brush knees, we're gonna seem like we're doing another brush knee, but it gets a little fancier, okay? So we sit back and we sit down, we pivot out, we put our left hand high and our right hand is fisted closer to our hip. No energy has expended, so that should not be a problem. Weight is on the back. What do we want to do? The Tai Chi walk says, we need to step into the left position as if we're zigzagging, okay? So we're gonna do that, but when we do that, as we shift our weight, this hand comes down, this hand comes up. Do it together. But not now, when we shift our weight, soon after, okay? Here we go. Right now, heel, pivot out to deflect, bring it in, that fist in, shift the weight to parry, and then to punch. Touch the elbow to strip the guy off, open the fingers so that the palms are facing upwards, roll back, push the guy down while you sit down, right? Push him up, push him out. Okay, now I wonder if we should change our position. I think the answer is yes. Okay, you remember, left foot forward, we push the guy out, right foot back, turning to the field, okay? I'll give us a little time to rest, a little time to gather our mind. So left foot forward, and we're in a bow stance, and we push the guy out. Are your shoulders dropped? That's a good question. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna pivot on our back and pivot on our front. How? Both feet have weight. Therefore, we're gonna have to give up some weight of the back and pivot, then pivot again, and you look like me. The right hand hooks as you shift your weight. Why am I bending that, flexing? Because I'm shifting my weight. I'm on a T. Left hand is by your cheek of your right cheek. It comes out, turns the hand, turns the palm out, and pushes out. What do we do now? Pivot on the front, right? Is that right? No, half step forward. Okay, we're in single whip, okay? Half step forward, that means right foot on its toe, right hand forward, drop back on your right, elevate your front on the toe, set it up, play your lute. Is that right? We're going to repulse the monkey. Is that right? Open, glance, backwards walk, Tai Chi walk, step back, draw back, push forward. Center, open, glance, lift all together, toe, heel, pivot on the ball, draw back. All right. Now, let's just take it from where we are. This is what we're going to work on today, okay? We're going to pivot on the front heel and pirouette on the right toe. So anytime you hear pivot on the heel, that's for the forward foot, and the pirouette is on the toe of the right or back. So here we go. Pivot on the front, pirouette on the back. You should be like me. The left hand is 2 inches below your navel, that's in your dantian area. The right hand, the palm is facing the ceiling. We're on the toe of our right foot. The weight is on the left. You're going to watch first, okay? You're going to stay in this position. You want to spin out and put your heel down of what foot? It's got to be only the right, because that's the only foot that can move. So you want to spin out and use the heel of the weightless foot. You're going to watch while I do it. Spin out, reposition. Okay? And only I was supposed to do it, okay? Because if you do it, then you can't see what I'm going to do, okay? You shift your weight, you hold your ball, you spin your ball, and you shuttle this way. That's what you're going to do with me now, okay? So, got to take a peek at you guys. All right, so you pivoted, pirouette, and this is where you are. We said the weight is all on the left. This is the only foot that take a spin out to put a heel on. When we do that, we're going to reposition our ball. Right now our ball, the right hand is wrong. So the only foot that can spin out is our right heel. When we put it on its heel, we're going to reposition our right hand. Here we go. Spin out with our heel, reposition our ball. Shift the weight to the right. Come out with your left like a L stance. Turn the ball, spin the ball, and maiden is on her left. Maiden has to go on her right now, okay? Sit back and sit down. Pivot in, take an in step. Hold your ball. Right foot's ready to go, right hand's on the bottom so we know. So we're going to spin out with our right heel as we turn the ball and put it to the forehead and put the shuttlecock right there. All right, and then you can't see me, okay? So we turn around. So what I went through is really important. So you're going to have to look at your online lesson, okay? Because the more you do it, the better you can adapt to it, okay? So I'm going to show you in the position that I did it, and then you somehow figure it out, okay? So I think we just did this. Yeah? Pivot on the front, pirouette on the back. Spin out, kick out, shift the weight, L stance, flip the hand, put it right there. Sit back, sit down, in step. hold your ball. L stance, spin the ball, put the shuttlecock right there, flip the hand. Half step to the back, and then we go down to the bottom of the C. All right? So, you know, I have two ways of teaching you how to do the pivot and pirouette. We're going to do two ways. Actually, let me clarify. There are two positions or locations in which we can start to do our drill. One is, okay, I'll just show you, it's easier. One is sort of in this way, okay? And this is the way I would position you, okay? Pivot, pirouette, kick out, heel, maiden on her left. Sit back, instep, ball, maiden on her right. Half step, and this is the view that you would get, okay? That's the first one. And this is the second one, okay? The second one we start with everybody faces away from me and faces the street. Pivot on the front, pirouette on the back, kick out with your heel, maiden on her left. Sit back, instep, hold your ball, L stance, maiden on her right. Half step to the back, needle to the bottom C. Let's get really good. Let's angle ourselves to this way. You angle yourselves this way to the, I'm going to that panning camera, and you're going on to the windows or to the door in that angle, okay? And you don't have to get a real severe angle, but I want you in that direction because eventually you'll see what I'm doing on the front. So we are pushing out with our left foot forward. We're on a bow stance, and we just push the guy out, okay? Everybody push the guy out. What we want to do now is pivot on our front and pirouette on our back. So we're in a bow stance. The choreograph says, sit down, sit back, right? Now we're going to easily pivot the left heel and quickly pirouette the right. Right? Are you looking like me? Okay, one more time. So there was hardly any, all you had to do is intake in your mind and apply it to your body. Push out, sit back, pivot the heel, firm down, pirouette the toe. Okay, can you hold your stance? Okay, good. You get it, okay? Let's get it a little better. Left foot forward, and don't take a wide span, just take a comfortable span, but don't take a small span, okay? You push the guy out. Sit back, sit down, pivot, pirouette. Okay, let's get it good. Push out, sit back, sit down, pivot, pirouette. Wow, easy, huh? Okay, come on, you're gonna do it for me afterwards, okay? Push out, sit back, sit down, pivot, pirouette. One more time, let's do it 5 times, that's 1. Push. If you're in an L stance, which you should, a bow stance, because you were in an L stance, that front foot, if you dragged it back, there should be a gap. Drag your foot back, is there a gap? Drag that left foot back if there's a gap. If it's not, then you have to set it out a little bit more, okay? Because it's going to bear on what you do. All right, push out. Pivot, sit back, sit down, pivot, pirouette. Okay? So no problem. When you push out, everybody push out, you're going to sit back and you're going to sit down. When I say pivot, you're not going to say, hey, what foot is that she wants you to pivot? Only the weightless foot can pivot. It's the front. So pivot, bear down or root down, then what? Pirouette is natural, right? But the weight now should bear on that left foot, okay? I'll talk about it again. Push out, sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, pirouette. So we're created a weighted foot on the left and a weightless foot on the right. So we're setting ourselves up correctly so that we can then kick out. So we're getting good to, I think, 2 more times, and then we're going to move on. Left foot forward, we push the guy out. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, pirouette. One more time. And while we're doing it, you're going to say to yourself, I understand what pivot is, I understand what pirouette is. I know my ball is not quite right, but I am good. But now this time say, understand that one foot is weighted, one foot is not, and it's alternating, okay, because that's a pattern. Push out. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, pirouette. One more time. Push out. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, pirouette. Okay, from here now, we're going to kick out with our heel. And nobody's going to ask me what heel, because the weightless foot is the right foot, the pirouetted foot. So we're going to kick out with our heel, and we're going to reposition our hands. Okay, and not going to look back because you're just going to do it. Okay, here we go. Pivot, kick out with your heel, reposition. And then you can peek and see where I am. I'm looks like I'm forward, which I am, but the foot wants to do a zigzag to the right. Because when Maiden works her shuttle, she zigzags to the right, she zigzags to the left. Then the needle of the bottom of the C takes you straight away. Okay, so I didn't tell you that, but I'm telling you now that if your right foot is sort of slanted rather than on a line or parallel to the line, that's good, so you kicked out enough. Okay, now your turn to watch me, okay, before we move into number 2 position, okay? So left foot forward, right foot in a bow stance, drag my foot back, there's that gap that I want. I don't want it here because I'm going to have trouble doing my pirouette. But I don't need an exaggeration. All I need is the correct Tai Chi posture, Tai Chi walk, or even our 10 form L stance, bow stance, which means drag it back, there should be a gap. So we push the guy out. I know my shoulders are dropped. I know I'm not following my hand. I know I'm not arching my back. I know my Tai Chi posture is with me, because all of those components are important to the next movement. Everything just kind of wraps around. But once something is thrown off, you're going to have trouble. Trouble is going to be compounded, okay? So you want to make sure you're in the right position. You're going to sit back and you sit down. You're going to pivot. You're going to pirouette. You're going to what? Kick out. And Maiden on her left. Sit back, sit down. Twist in. Hold your ball. Out. Spin the ball. Maiden on her right. So I'm zigzagged, right? But what's going to happen is that the needle is going to take me to a straightaway right here. Then when I flash arms, I must just do it all for now, okay? Since I have good viewers and followers. Sit back, sit down, twist step, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. We do only 2 rotations of cloud hands, and it's always to the right. So this is the end, but what happens is that we hold our ball and we T-step, and then all we do then is ward off, and we end our 16 form, okay? I'm gonna get some water, gonna think about what I just taught you, and then we're gonna start with the roadside, so you won't see me in the beginning. So think about what are the 2 things or 3 things you're gonna have to do without seeing me. You figure it out. Left foot forward, pushing out. So the left foot now should be on a line or parallel to the line. And then you push out and you say to yourself, am I still in good Tai Chi posture? That's all you have to answer, and that's all you have to figure out. You figure it out. You're smart, okay? Push out. Sit back, sit down. pivot, pirouette, kick out, right, left, maiden on her left. Sit back, twist in, hold your ball. Out with the right heel, right hand comes up, maiden puts your shuttlecock right there. Half step to the back, cross the hips and waist, set up the left hand, all together, needle to the bottom of the seat. One hand comes up, two hands come up, foot joins it, flash your arms like a fan. Sit back, sit down. 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Two things happen at 3. 12 o'clock. Two things happen at 9. 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Hold your ball, T-stance. Out and to the side, ward off. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact, turn, push the energy. Roll back, sit down, spiral up, lunge forward. Let's finish. Sit back, sit down. Twist step, hold your ball, out and to the side, ward off. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact, turn, push from the center. Sit back, sit down, spiral up, push them out. Closing form, twist step, open step, instep, embrace the tiger, move over, rotate on your wrists, bring him in, push him out. Drop the shoulders, flex the knees as you now close your form. And then ask yourself, are you still in Tai Chi posture? I think some of the backs have gotten stiffer and straighter, okay? So make sure that you're always in Tai Chi posture, okay? And I see you trying to do a good Tai Chi posture, but did you forget that the butt has to be tucked in and the chest has to be concave, okay? So make sure that you're not, so I see many of you like this, but many of you, all of you should be like this, so that the chest can tuck. It's not just the knees that change, but they change slightly. So I see you, watch what I'm doing, okay? I see you like this, okay? Look at my profile, look at my shoulder, look at my back. That is not right. That is not Tai Chi posture. Tai Chi posture says, sink your shoulder, sink your chest, tuck your butt. Sink your shoulder, tuck your butt. That's how the profile should be. There's a big difference, okay? And yeah, it's like that, but a little bit less of the ragdoll, a little bit less than a ragdoll, okay? But not so much good posture and slightly tucked butt. So that if you're having trouble understanding what I'm saying and applying, I would say tuck the butt. Once you tuck the butt, everything falls in place. You tuck your butt, the shoulders drop, the chest has no problem, it just concaves. But if you're doing something goofy with the butt area, everything else is going to be goofy, okay? So try that and use a mirror to profile yourself. Okay, so what I've done today is really gone deeper than I thought I would take you. But I've concluded, we've talked together, and we say, if everybody could keep their Tai Chi posture throughout all movements, that's your key for good Tai Chi. When we try to correct individuals who have trouble with different movements, it's only putting a little Band-Aid there for that particular movement. And even at that Band-Aid, it still wants to come off. It's still not sticking and gluing right. So I thought about it and I said, you know, if you keep your Tai Chi posture all the time and do your movements, you're going to be way ahead in the game, okay? So think about what I said. take a look at your profile, and 5 more minutes will give us at least 3 times of practicing this piece again so we don't forget, okay? And we did several sessions going this way, so now we get to go straight way, okay? Because I said I would satisfy everybody. Left foot forward, right foot 45, good Tai Chi posture, push the guy out. What are we gonna do? Sit back, sit down. Pivot, pirouette. Kick out right, kick out left. Spin the ball, put the shuttlecock right there. Sit back, sit down. Pivot in, hold your ball for better balance. Step out right, spin the ball, put the shuttlecock right there. We're on a zigzag, we want to get to a straightaway. Therefore, the left foot goes back and we set up our hand. And you saw how that right foot got straightened out. We're going to lift all together and come down to the bottom of the seat. That's a hard one, and that's a hard one to teach. One hand comes up because it's centering you. 2 hands need to come up because you're bearing all that weight. Right foot has to join it. Stretch it out and come out as a fan. You're now centered. Okay, and we went slowly because we wanted to get in all the movements, but faster is better, but faster kind of smudges over our clean movements. Okay? One more time, because I said 2 or 3, okay? So we're facing the street, left foot forward, right foot angled at a 45, you pushed out. What are we doing? Sit back, sit down. Pivot, pirouette, spin out by kicking with the right heel. Left heel comes out as your left hand comes up and shuttles left. Sit back, sit down. Pivot in, hold your ball. Right heel, right hand spins, put the shuttlecock right there. How are we going to straighten out the zigzag? Take a half step with your back or left foot, spin to the front, set it up. What are we going to do? All together. Lift the right, swipe the right, come down. 1 hand comes up, 2 hands come up, foot comes up. Start in the middle, stretch that right knee, flash arms. Sink, good Tai Chi posture. Sit back, sit down. Twist step 12, 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip, actually 1 thing, 3, 2 things happen at 3, 2 things happen at 9, 2 things happen at 3, ball and tee, out and to the side, ward off. Okay, watch how I ward off. I pause, I don't follow my hand, I'm in good Tai Chi posture. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hand. Still in good Tai Chi posture. In a bow stance, after a bow stance, what did they say? Sit down, sit back, look back. Contact, that means touch. Turn the hips and waist, middle of the body. Push the energy through that contact. Separate. Roll back, sit down. Spiral up, lunge forward. Okay, so you know the rest. Okay, I'm going to go back to what Ken said. What he said is really important, but he was inserting it when I was still giving my detail. I didn't want you to get mixed up. But he is exactly correct. So you know enough about how to do pivot and pirouette and kicking out to get to maiden. You do have enough. You will not have enough if you don't renew our lesson. Okay, however you need to renew it, it needs to be thought through and done again. For me, if I were in your shoes, as soon as I get home, I would do it. And in my car, I would be thinking it through, because I tend to forget, okay? Because if you say you worked hard for 1 hour and the teacher gave you the best instruction she did, you should capitalize on it. What Ken said is really important. I remember him teaching me 16 form at Kaimiki Park. And I didn't know it at all. And the hardest part was this thing that we were just working on. And he said, you know what, forget about everything that I said and just do it. And oh my goodness, I didn't forget everything that he did say, but I put it in the back of my mind, and I let my body just spin and do whatever I thought was natural. Because you know already that you cannot use a weighted foot to move. So you won't have trouble as to, is this a foot I'm going to move? Is this a foot I'm not going to move? So use some of what you have, put it to your body and say, hey, let's have fun. It's a pretty movement. Let's relax. And you be surprised. You surprise yourself. You may not get it the first time, but if you do, hey, great. But let your body teach you one time, 1 or 2 or 5 times, whatever, okay? Let your body teach you, because you should have the confidence that you intook enough information, you can visualize the movement, just let your body do it for now, okay? And sure, it may not be absolutely correct, but it'll bring everything together. It'll make connections for you automatically, okay? So I'll leave you with that thought, and we'll check it out next week. Hey, good job.